So Marvel Comics depicts Jesus Christ as a mutant in first issue of Immortal X-Men. Let's talk about that today here on the Geek Corner. Thanks so much, everyone, for being a part of the community here. It's Rev Kev. Pray you're having an amazing day. Now, full confession, I haven't read a Marvel comic in years. I was a big Avengers collector during the Bendis years of Avengers. Really liked what was going on back in Marvel Comics back then. But honestly, it's been a long time since I have picked up a Marvel comic. In fact, up until recently, I was still collecting Superman, but then that ship has sailed, and I've made other videos about why I've stopped collecting Superman now as well. So I haven't personally read this, but here, this kind of just came through my social media feed here. So this is the article here in Bounding into Comics, which talks about Marvel depicting Jesus Christ as a mutant in the first issue of the new series of Immortal X-Men. Now, I don't know what's going on in X-Men these days, but here there's a nice little, comic book rendition of Jesus ascending back to heaven after his resurrection. The disciples are there, and the angels come and witness, Jesus being taken back into heaven, gone back to the throne room of heaven, sitting at the right hand of God the Father, where he speaks on behalf of those who have been saved from their sin. So, and then this article here in Bounding into Comic, man, this site's got a whole lot of ads in here. But anyways, there's like some kind of council where they're trying to pick a new leader to head up the council. Art here is quite nice, actually. Like here, this picture of the Beast, I really like that. Like this artist here, I don't even know who the artist is. Like these are some good drawings here. I got to admit this. But so in this conversation, you meet that there's this kind of X-Men foe here, and he's kind of trying to sway Hope Summers into the leadership of this group. And it sounds like it says here, well, by his own definition, I am a mutant of faith. I'm a mutant of faith, and talks about kind of, your coming rekindled the fecundity of mutants. The Holy Spirit came upon you. And she's correcting him, no, the Holy Spirit didn't come on me. The Phoenix came on me. She says there's no need to get religious. So this guy is tying in his religious faith to his mutant experience here. And then this panel is where things really got highlighted in my social media again. As a pastor, as a follower of Jesus who likes geek culture, who loved these kind of stories, who's collected comic books his entire life, who's been a big Star Wars comic book, geek ever since I could walk. And here this mutant says, the Nazarene mutant inspired a church among the humans by raising a couple from the dead. And so here, by implication here, this mutant is declaring that Jesus of Nazareth is not the Son of God, is not fully God and fully man. He is not the Messiah, but he's just simply a mutant and had used his mutant powers. And because in that backwater world of Israel 2,000 years ago, it could only be explained as divinity. And so the humans created religion, created a church around it. Now, here's the reality. And this is just kind of me again as a pastor, me as a follower of Jesus. When I see stuff like this, I expect this. I expect Hollywood to misuse the person of Jesus. I actually expect geek culture and entertainment to mock Jesus. I expect it. Why do I expect it? Because the words of Jesus himself tell me that that is what the world is going to do. I don't expect Hollywood to honor Jesus, but I expect Hollywood to honor every other religion in the world. because there's something spiritual about this, right? Because this is what Jesus said. Like, these are the words of Jesus. I'm going to read from my Bible here. This is from John chapter 18. John chapter 15, verse 18. These are the words of Jesus, what he tells his followers. He says, if the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. But as it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you. And then it goes on, and he kind of just talks about this thing, that the world's going to hate Christians. The world is going to hate Jesus because there's this spiritual battle at play here for people to be restored in a right relationship with God and a right relationship with one another. And so I expect this. This in no way offends me as a follower of Jesus. For me, this is just an affirmation of the words of Jesus. So I tend to use this stuff as an opportunity to talk about the love of God. I use these type of things when culture, movies, comic books try to misuse Jesus like this. For me, this is just a platform to say, let's actually explore this. Let's actually have a real conversation about who Jesus claimed to be, not who the world says he is. The world wants to say that Jesus was just some mutant who inspired primitive people to create a religion. Well, what did Jesus say? Well, Jesus said that he was God, and that's why he was executed. He wasn't executed for being Mr. Rogers telling people to love one another. He wasn't executed because he was telling people to love people as themselves. He wasn't executed for just kind of being nice. He was executed in an ancient Jewish culture for blasphemy, for declaring himself to be the great I am. That was why he was murdered. And he proved to the world that he truly was the great I am by rising from the dead. So, again, just an opportunity here to talk about this as a geek, as a pastor. Again, I love it when this stuff comes out. Makes it real easy for me to talk about it. But I'd love to know your thoughts on this whole Marvel Comics, basically, 2 weeks before Easter, throwing it out there to mock the church and mock Christians a little bit this way through making Jesus a mutant in their comic books. Would love to know your thoughts about that. Share them down in the comment section below. And as always, I so appreciate each and every one of you being a part of the community here. It really means the world to me. And until the next video, God bless, and we'll talk to you soon.